They literally just told the entire Lakewood church on live TV this morning to protect your because the entertainment industry puts images and symbolism in their movies and TV shows to make them stop thinking for themselves and make it easier for them to accept everything they watch.
Hey,
Nobody
Segovia,
clap.
back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good day, y'all. Happy Monday. We got another one. This video right here is an hour and 7 minutes long without me doing any chit-chatting. So there might not be too much talking today. I got to get out there and wash the cars, y'all. So I'm going to today, we're going to put my little 2 cents in here and there, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Now I'm in China and I'm going to Shenzhen by train. So I've forgotten my phone and I want to get something from the store. So I'm at 7-Eleven. So I'm going to pick up the sparkling water.
Shout out.
And what's very interesting is they actually have, so I'm going to scan it. They actually have WeChat Palm Pay. So that's my WeChat ID. That's my WeChat ID, and I just paid without having my cards or my wallet on me or my phone, which is pretty crazy, mind-blowing. You don't have to take anything with you when you go and travel. So that's the beauty of China. It just shows how ahead China is in terms of technology.
Well, does he have a chip in his hand or what? How does that work? Does he have a chip? Look at me over here chit-chatting already. I got things to do today, y'all.
This is the most demonic thing I have ever seen taken place at any sporting event in my entire life. What you're looking at is a demon being summoned in the crowd on top of a satanic pentagram. There's even demonic chants on the banners below the crowd. What you're looking at is a home game of FC Kaiserslautern, also known as FCK, and they're doing a pre-game ritual. And what you're going to see here is that people are holding up signs, and it creates a satanic pentagram. And as time goes on, you can see the person shifting the camera. On the other side, I believe those words say invincible forever. But then slowly there's a demon that's going to arise. Now, if you look at the bottom, the banners here, they say words in Latin. And if we translate them, let's see what it says. Exaudi nos Lucifer et surge ex abyss sume nimas nostra. Oh my gosh, this says, hear us, O Lucifer, and rise from the abyss. Take our souls. What the heck? Now they actually say something else as Lucifer is slowly spawning from the crowd. It says, ad lucem nos Lucifer et surge ex abysso sume animas nostras. Jesus, forgive me for even saying this, but it says, to light us, O star, and arise from the abyss, take our souls. What the heck? I mean, I don't care if their mascot is like a devil or something, whatever the heck it is. This is the weirdest thing I have ever seen. There's got to be some evil energy going on in this game.
I don't buy that this is all just the result of nothing more than manual labor. You read recently some of the new studies on the altar stone at Stonehenge? It came from like the Orkneys up in northern Scotland. At least 460 miles, that stone had to get transported down to southern England. Geologists have this database that they've been compiling for years, and it's all the different types of rocks that have been studied and where you can find them around the world, right? And they found that the exact match was these rocks up in northern Scotland, up around the Orkneys. So then now you had to transport this multi-ton stone 450 to 500 miles. If it's overland, well, now you're going over mountains, across rushing rivers, through thick, dense forests, or you might take it by sea. Then that raises questions about what kind of seafaring craft would they have been using 5,000 years ago? Whether it was by sea or by land, it would have been an extremely challenging thing to undertake.
That's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there, because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, you know, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy.
I'm going to interrupt a little bit. That's a longer clip, but you got to think, like, look how big Bieber is. But imagine getting to that level, what it does to your soul when you know he was young though, right? How old is he still? But you know, he was young, but still, like, knowing you're here, but you're not here because of yourself, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, he's talented. He went viral on YouTube before, but to get to that level that he got to, it wasn't authentic. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to get to that level. We're going to get into some more clips about some popular YouTubers later on in the video who put them on, right? The top YouTuber put this dude on. So now look at him. He's got Kevin Hart. He's got all these big dogs on his podcast, all these rappers, all that. So to get to that level and it wasn't authentic, like, I can only imagine, like, say I got to that level, but I had to do something to get to that level. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy. You know what I mean? You're just not. You're not going to feel right. It's going to feel, you're going to be miserable because you know it's not real. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit, because the man card means everything.
I had no idea we're going to go this direction with the podcast.
You can prove that the moon landings are fake with the logic, not having to look at any video clip or any picture. Today, With 5 decades better rockets and computers, the farthest that NASA can send an astronaut into space is only 1,000th the distance to the moon. So what they're really claiming, Danny, is that back in 1969, when all of NASA's computers combined had 1/1,000,000th the computing power of a cell phone, they sent astronauts ahead of schedule on the first attempt 1,000 times farther than they can do today with 50 years better technology. So what they're actually saying is, for the first time in the history of the world, technology was greater in the past than in the future, which is impossible, which means they faked it. It's amazing. The truth is right there. And people have made a god out of this, and they refuse to see the truth.
These people, I've worked in a lot of cases. What I have them do is just give me like a clear crime scene photo before the crime, because I don't want to see like bloody carpet. I don't want to see splatter all over the walls. So like I can go into that photo, or the photos, they just show me the whole house. Sometimes I'll just walk a scene after it's been all cleaned up and everything. And I can see sometimes there's even been construction and the rooms have been changed, or the building was stripped to its studs. But what I'm saying is there's no evidence there, because they clean that up before I get there, because I don't work with the department. Like, I'm not an employee of the department, but I do work with the department as an informant, or as, I think they call it, just like a witness.
Yeah.
And so I go with nothing and I see everything, right? I could see the blood. I could almost like taste it and smell it. I see the bodies. I see where they were. I see the murder. I see the people. I see the intention. I can feel what happened behind the scenes. It's really interesting because it is this deep mystery. Like, a lot of people don't understand hauntings can lie to you.
My daughter asked me today on the way to school, she's like, will I be alive in the year 3000? And I was like, absolutely not. And then I'm like, wait,
maybe
you might be, dude.
Yeah.
She'd be 84.
Podcasts are crazy nowadays.
If she's a vampire or a Marvel superhero or an Old Testament character, that's 976 years. Lord have mercy. Listen, did you know that the human body contains 100,000 miles of blood vessels? And if you took them all out of the human body and spread them out, they would wrap around the earth 4 times. And the person you removed them out of would die.
That right now.
Now, there are celebrities who have accepted the poly and non-monogamous relationships. Some we know, Will Smith and Jada, they've been open about they have an open relationship.
But Will like guys.
Huh?
Will like guys.
How you know?
I live in LA. Does that make sense to you?
No.
I live in Los Angeles. There's a lot of opportunities I don't get because the guys don't want me to see them with their boyfriends. And I've suffered from that. It's like everybody know anyway. Everybody know anyway. So I'm saying, like, do you think me saying Will like guys, because I said it and I can't take it back.
Yeah.
Because I believe it. I know it for the most part.
Okay.
By me saying that, I hope it doesn't strike a nerve in anybody, but I'm saying I live in LA.
Yeah.
And there's a lifestyle that is kept quiet.
A secret society.
Yeah. And it's like people like me suffer from this lifestyle because of the shame that some guys have of how they like to move. And I don't think that however you move is something you should hold against me. I think it's unfair.
All of this historic flooding we've been having this weekend, yeah, that's the house behind me, is about to get a lot worse as somebody has accidentally opened a floodgate in Kentucky. Accidentally. And the news is already reporting that this will be the worst flood we have ever seen on the Kentucky River. But I mean, to be fair, every day and every week there's a new worst storm that's the worst we've ever had. They also can't get their story straight, as some articles are saying that they're opening as part of a controlled spill and then evacuation because of an unintentional release of the floodgates. I guess technically it could be both, but
Looks like gravy, doesn't it? Remember that KFC commercial, Kentucky Fried Chicken? Kind of looks like that same water. Just saying.
problem here is the most resourceful land in America keeps being attacked by the weather. And with all these once-in-a-lifetime storms happening every single week, and then accidents happening at the same exact time over and over again, it gets a little bit worrisome. Not at all related, completely irrelevant. Do you remember when all of this drama was going on and the things happening around that? The crazy part about this whole thing is all the states affected are bordering one state which has the highest concentration of brick masons, even 30% more than California. Not related, just thought it was a cool fact. I just can't believe all the destruction we're seeing every single day. Then again, I can.
I went to go see the Minecraft movie because I'm an OG Minecraft player and my kids absolutely love Minecraft. But what's happening at these movie theaters is absolutely insane. Do keep in mind, the Minecraft movie is on par to make over $300 million by next weekend. And I can confirm, by the way, that it actually is a good movie, but don't get me wrong, I love that people have passion for the game, but it seems to be that this has just turned into a giant meme. When I tell you that this entire movie theater was primarily filled with teenagers and those millennials, I'm sure you know who I'm referring to. I mean it. Popcorn flying all in the air, teenagers stomping up and down, sitting on each other's shoulders, standing up in front of people, causing people to fight, screaming loud as fuck to the point of where you go deaf, which I mean, I can't even really complain about because my kids were following along too. But when theater employees have to come in to attempt to de-escalate the situation and then end up having to fight somebody because they're being obnoxious and they're trying to show off in front of their friends, I mean, it's kind of gotten out of fucking control. I applaud people for being excited, having fun, cheering, clapping, but there's a point of where you motherfuckers are overdoing it. And it seems to be, after watching other people's experiences of going to watch the movie as well, that the same exact thing is happening in their movie theaters. And all these videos that are coming out right now are literally proving that. Don't be fucking childish, people. It's ridiculous, and it's just ruining the chances of actually enjoying the movie to begin with.
Well, if you're a grumpy old man like I am, because that would bother me too. But we were kids once, right? Remember Friday night, we used to go to the movies in 6th and 7th grade, and we were annoying. But adults probably didn't go to the movies on Friday nights because they knew if I was going to go watch that movie with my son and Mama Bear, I'd wait a couple weeks, let the hype die down, right? And go watch the movie. Then you can watch it in peace. You gotta think. You gotta think. Minecraft, kids, opening weekend, everybody and their mother's going to be in there. I'm going to wait a couple weeks so the movie dies down. So hopefully I'm the only one in there. It's the loner in me, y'all.
172 was the first time a U.S. president visited China ever.
That was Nixon?
Do you know Nixon? Do you know 1971? When was the previous time U.S. even spoke to China? Do you know how long that break was? For 25 years, we never spoke to China at all. It was a communistic regime. There was zero conversation. Nixon becomes the first president to visit China. Then trade kind of opens up. At that time, minimum wage in China per hour for labor was like 8 to 20 cents per hour. American business owners that were like, dude, let's build this thing over there. Forget 8 cents an hour? Hell, we love China. That's what started saying, right? So
my husband was Tony Mendez, and he was played by Ben Affleck in the movie called Argo. They didn't mention it in the movie, but Tony had deep connections to Hollywood. Tony was chief of disguise 10 years before I was chief of disguise. And so he passed on some of his expertise to me. But he had a particular interest in the magic industry out in LA. Not so much the magicians on the stage, but the people that were working behind the scenes to make that magic happen. They introduced us to a new concept. They said, what you are calling an operation, we call a performance. That's what we do. We put on performances. Working on that performance, we have to define the stage that the performance is going to take place on. Then you have to know who your audience is. Who are you playing to? Who are you trying to fool? Once you assemble those two pieces, you can pretty much choose the time and choose the place and simply overwhelm them with your performance. So we went back to our disguise labs out at Langley, and we invented a whole new genre of masks. Masks that are so good, that are so realistic, that you can actually get up close and have a personal contact with someone for an extended period of time, on and off like a hat. Those masks were the beginning of a whole new generation of work that we did at the CIA.
1989 interview, the shadowy Dennis told reporters in the world he was employed at a secret facility called S4. The base was a subsidiary of Area 51, whose existence was never officially admitted by the government until 2013. S4 was said to be located just south of the main facility, close to Groom Lake. Dennis went on to say while working there, he was given clearance to reverse engineer one of 9 flying saucers. He goes on to say that one of these, which he termed as the sports model, was made using a metallic substance similar to what looks like stainless steel. When asked if he could prove all of this, Dennis said he couldn't and explained that he only has his word to back up his claims. With that, the interview ended, and people were beyond confused on what to make of his statements. The second time Dennis appeared on camera, he was now ready to reveal his face. It was Bob Lazar, and he went on to say more about S4 and other secrets the government was said to be keeping from the public. He claimed the alien vehicle he studied used element 115 for propulsion and security. This element generated a gravity wave which allowed the craft to fly and evade visual detection because it bent the light around it. At that point, the existence of element 115 was only theorized about and published in various publications, but it hadn't been synthesized. This unusual chemical wasn't created until 2003 by a combined team of Russian and American scientists, and it was named Moscovium.
I was taken in for a long time, and I still sometimes I entertain the idea that, yeah, technology is coming regardless. We will march on. And you know, you could have a horrible person in charge of that transformation, or you could have a good person in charge of that transformation. Elon has done an exceptional job, politically speaking, of branding himself as the good technocrat, as the technocrat you can trust, as the one that's for free speech at all costs, though he's not, and the one that like founded all his own companies, and he's amazing. But actually, he didn't actually do the work to found a lot of those companies. Like, it's not exactly clear how brilliant his mind is in those companies. And the thing that actually really started to wake me up to it, ironically, is the video game scandal that he had, where have you even realized that Elon was faking that he was the top 10 video gamer at the hardest video game in the world?
I didn't know it was
There's
fake.
this whole scandal. It's fake, and it's obviously fake, and people exposed it at length online. That clearly he didn't know what he was talking about. He didn't know how the
slow
items
down
worked.
because people might not have. I just recently heard from someone on my team about how he was the #1 gamer. So slow
in
this
this
down.
Exceptionally hard video game. The kind of video game that, and I'm not super familiar with this video game, but I used to play a lot of video games. And it's the kind of video game that people will play thousands of hours just to be able to beat the third boss out of 30 or something. I'm making numbers up, but it's like an insanely hard video game. And so it's highly prestigious. And he came to, like, he was in the top of the leaderboards worldwide. And then this other video game, Diablo 4, I think it was, same thing, top of the leaderboards. But then he started live streaming it, and people realized that he didn't even know basic things, like about how this item works and about the strategy of how you do this, like this movement thing to get the, and everyone was like, wait a minute, this is not a top video game player playing this game. And then they dug in more, and it came out that basically the entire thing was a fake. And the fact that you would construct some fake characterization of you as some top video gamer, which obviously you don't have the time to be the top video game player of this multi-thousand-hour type of difficulty game while you're running 6 companies. That's a ridiculous thing.
I wish you hadn't told me this, because my conspiracy theory, like where my brain goes naturally with him, is that it's all too impossible.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be running all of these businesses plus be the #1 gamer given thousands of hours to some random game. And then I read this that was what I was saying. I was just like, none of this makes any sense. And like, we're just being told that he does do all of this stuff. But what if it's like actually like, no, the government created all of that stuff, and then they just handed it to Elon Musk to be the face of it, so that people would be just adoring him and allow him to do whatever it was and allow him to get in there as if he's just like a player working for somebody else. And I didn't want to lean into that, but I genuinely just go, there's not enough hours in the day for all the things that we're supposed to believe Elon Musk is doing. He was able to just leave all of these 3 big companies.
Baby mama drama all over the place.
All over the place. And then also, I just find him to be quite volatile in terms of his treatment of people. Like even the Ashley St. Clair thing.
100%.
And I'm going, to lead successful businesses, you can't be like that. You have to be able to get along, take a little bit of criticism, right? And I think Steve Bannon hit the nail on the head when he said he can't take any criticism. And as soon as someone upsets him, he's like locking out your accounts over H-1B visas. It's like, dude, well, can't we just have like a debate about H-1B visas?
I thought this was the free speech platform.
Yes. And suddenly he got very weird about it. And so now what you're saying is that was faked. Like that's
the
a
video
fact.
game one was faked. Yeah.
The ham you put on your sandwich is made. The whole process starts with the pig. Ham is made from a simple pork leg, which you know as pernil. First, they separate the bones from the meat and remove any excess. A lot of fat ends up being left behind. The pork leg is placed in a tenderizer, which breaks down all the proteins in the meat, making it very tender. This is when the meat is soaked in salt. If you think that's all, you're mistaken. Inside this rotating mixer, preservatives with chemical additives are added, which along with the brine, cure and preserve the meat. After that, the meats are thrown into a tank to rest. This is where the magic happens, as the salt continues to penetrate as time passes. Do you think it's time to turn it into ham now? The party has just begun. When they come out of the tank, the meats are taken to a tenderizer that will break and rupture the muscle fibers. The next step is just grinding. The meats are fed into the grinder to make it malleable, and then it's tenderized in a beater until it turns into a liquid mass. Now that mass is placed into these molds, which are packed under pressure and taken to the baking oven. After the baking process, the ham is removed from the trays. They undergo an inspection to check for anomalies, bubble formation, or liquid. With everything in order, the ham is packaged, transferred to a supermarket, and then you end up buying it because you can't resist so much succulence.
You don't believe that Africans were brought over on slave ships?
Correct. I believe it may have happened, you know, maybe people were brought over as slaves, but I don't think that the black people in America came from Africa on slave ships. I believe the people that were here were slowly conquered. First, they got the East Coast, and then they started spreading out west, little by little conquering. And when you conquer a tribe, what do? You enslave them. They're POW.
Man, how many dudes are going to start popping that? Can't trust those.
There's this whole document called the Israeli Art Students DEA files. You ever heard about those? So you can find them on the internet if you search like things like DEA files Israeli art students.
Can you look that up, Steve?
You can probably find it, and it's a report written by the DEA. And what was happening is in 2000 and 2001, there is like all these government agencies were reporting. Yeah, all those are it. And what they were doing is they like at first no one realized what was happening because there was these like people walking into like the DEA office in like whatever in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
And they were saying like, "Hi, I'm an art student from Israel representing this university and I would like to sell you some art. Are you interested in looking at any art? Is there anyone I can show this art to?" It's like, why the fuck are you in the DEA's office? Like, or any other government building? Like, they were just going to all these government buildings, posing as Israeli art students trying to sell art. And as they started to report it up the chain realized that this was happening all across.
I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Daddy for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
We applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool.
The funny thing about Diddy is all the stuff that's coming out and all the stuff that people keep putting on him. Like, they gonna mess up and let that man get free.
Wait a minute, you already see what happened, though. You seen what happened?
The Drewski thing?
No, not the Drewski thing, not that one. I'm talking about the fact that Jay-Z got the other guy license revoked, and now he was in charge of all those cases against Diddy. Now they're saying there's no attorney attached to those cases anymore.
Wow.
And he can't operate in the state of New York as an attorney. He does not have a license anymore. So he is now done.
That's amazing.
So now the Diddy case is just up in the air now.
Yeah. They about to let that dude out, man.
Hey, they let that dude out. That's it. It's hell to pay. It is hell to pay. And you know what? He's coming for Alejandro and Josh first. Because, hey, Diddy, I was fighting for you.
I hope he does. I hope he just goes away and just chill somewhere. Take your money somewhere, man. And
you know he don't have any money.
He got money still.
No. all his money is in his mother's name. So it's the same thing like those soccer people, how they beat those situations. He don't have nothing, not one thing is in his name. He's like, look, I'm poor.
Yeah.
Sue me. Who cares?
Yeah. That's smart. I would be pissed off if I was him though. To give Cassie all that money and then all this stuff.
He didn't give it to her.
He didn't?
No. The corporations that he was associated with it gave it to him. It's the same thing in the Michael Jackson situation.
Yeah.
Sony paid for his case. He never gave him anything because he said, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And so that's the whole thing, that it gives off the impression that he did do it because he paid the money. He's like, I didn't pay the money.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Okay, major breaking news. Donald Trump has just single-handedly crashed the global stock market. So the US market literally just opened after the weekend of it being closed, and in the first few moments, all of the major indexes fell yet again, between 3 and 4%. That brings the S&P's 3-day losses to around 13%. That's the biggest drop since the financial crisis of 2008. China's stock market, well, they suffered their worst single-day crash since 2008 as well. Hong Kong's stock market, they suffered their steepest single-day decline in nearly 3 decades. Taiwan had their biggest one-day drop in their history, flat out. Japan, they had to literally halt trading. Italy is down, Saudi is down, Germany is down, France, the UK, India, Australia, name a country, they are probably down. I mean, Russia, freaking Russia, they didn't even get hit with tariffs, yet they're down as well. And that's just Monday. So Donald Trump, seeing all the panic, all of the, it's a bloodbath out here, he said, do not panic. He said the United States has a chance to do something that should have been done decades ago. Be strong, courageous, and patient, and greatness will be the result. As things develop, and they will bloody develop, I'll keep you guys updated.
What do you guys think, y'all? Like, I know it's going to come back. Is it going to come back to, usually when the media is scaring people, it always works out in the end. You know what I mean? They're bashing these tariffs, bashing this stock. They're riding it, right? They're riding the train. Usually that backfires on them, like it turns out. So I know it's going to come back up. It always does. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's going to be a recession. People get rich off these recessions, but unfortunately, people that don't have the stockpile to be okay suffer, which is the majority of, let's just say, Americans, right? I can't speak for the world, but for the Americans. So what do you guys think of all this? What do you guys think? How do you guys think Trump is doing? How do you think all that is panning out? I know we have a lot of Trump supporters here. Whatever. You're okay with all this? You're good? You're just weathering out the storm? I mean, that's all we can do. We can't do nothing. Nothing we can do. But what do you think is going to come from all this? Let me know down below. Where's the silver lining and everything? I want to know what you guys think.
They literally just told the entire Lakewood Church on live TV this morning to protect your kids because the entertainment industry puts images and symbolism in their movies and TV shows to make them stop thinking for themselves and make it easier for them to accept everything they watch. Nobody clapped. So Kanye stood there for 2 to 3 seconds, then said, y'all can go research that. Kanye just told the people to protect their kids and do some research on Hollywood symbolism.
Hey man, y'all might want to start paying attention to this rant, or at least look into it. I'm gonna tell you why. Like, this is something that I've been noticing for a while now, but I always just put it off and, kind of try to make sense of it. But I seen a video, another person talking about, the same thing I've been noticing on my car. And no, I'm trusting my instincts, man. I'm about to show you a video, but before, I'm thinking that it's just dirt that the rain collected and, and just dried up and just left a spot, right? Because that was like my most logical explanation, because the stuff it's been happening, like since the winter time, since the fall time. And I seen some people talking about, oh, that's pollen or something like that. No, I don't think it's pollen. And pollen don't even come out like in the fall time and winter time. It comes out like in the spring. Here, check out this video. My car wasn't this dirty, man.
Before it rained, it was not this dirty. It was not this dirty.
That's how my truck looks right now.
Not at all. No, man. They gotta be chemicals or something like that in this rain, bro. Cause it wasn't dirty. It didn't collect the dirt and do all this. No.
And it's not from, like driving through a whole bunch of water or puddles of water or cars splashing rain or water to the car either. It's not because of that, man. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just thinking that something's up with this rain because I wouldn't doubt it. They put stuff in the water. They put stuff in the food. Chemicals in the food, chemicals in the water. You don't think they putting this junk in the rain too? I mean, we already know what they spraying up there, bro. And the stuff coming down. Come on. And then you probably got kids outside with their mouth open trying to catch all the raindrops. Look, man, I'm just saying, y'all might want to just give it a look.
You know why the other countries are complaining why the U.S. is putting tariffs on them? It's not because they worry about paying that 20-25% of things that gets exported to the U.S. Nah, they're worried because the companies that are operating on their country will decide to pack their shit and move back to America. Like Nike, for example.
Like, it's coming, y'all. It's coming. The truck driving, that's coming. Like, we were in Arizona. It's been around for a while, y'all, but I saw it, like, because we went to Tempe, we went to the zoo, and I took her through a drive through Tempe, Mill Avenue, by the university and all that, right? And they have those, what are they, taxis, Ubers with no drivers? I forgot what they're called, but they got all these spinning things on them and GPS all over the thing. I should have took a video of it to show you guys. I didn't even think, but there's tons of videos on TikTok of them. But I was just saying, like, that's crazy. Like, there's somebody in the back seat right now of that SUV, and there's nobody in the driver's seat. No one in the driver's seat, not even for just in case, right? It's just empty in there. Like, I mean, that's going to be the new wave because who wants to go in an Uber? Like, you never know who's driving that Uber. You never know eventually, right? When it starts like that'll take over. I think that'll take over because I would rather go. I know it sounds crazy, but sitting in the car in an awkward silence with the Uber driver. Instead, you can take this with nobody in there and you can just, chill. Even though they're dangerous and whatnot, but it's probably safer. I don't know, y'all. What do you think? It tripped me out though. I saw somebody sitting in the back seat and nobody in the driver's seat. Like, what freaking world are we living in?
I don't care. What is that?
Oh,
you guys, I'm telling you, it's aliens. It's literally fucking aliens. And there's a.
If you are never getting sick, it means your immune system is suppressed, usually from stress. So, like, what you'll see.
And someone would say, "Well, isn't that good?"
No, it's not good because it means your immune system is not being active.
Okay.
So the class where I really started seeing this was working with CEOs. They just go.
Right.
Go.
And
they're never sick.
Right.
They grind.
Right.
Until they go on vacation.
And then
And as soon as the stress hormones come down and the immune system gets more active, boom, it hits them like a ton of bricks.
Right. That makes sense.
So the stress system is very involved. So as cortisol elevates, the immune system dampens. As cortisol comes down, the immune system gets more active. And that's because it's built around sleep-wake cycles.
Okay.
So it's supposed to happen, and it's so crystal clear with little kids. Is it as their cortisol starts to come down, it starts getting closer to bed, all of a sudden, if they're sick, it starts to get really bad. Anybody who's a parent knows that over the night is the most wicked time to deal with it.
Yes.
Until about 6 a.m.
Right.
Because that's when cortisol starts to pick up.
I mean, that's how it is with me too. I'm a grown man, and when it's nighttime, I just get sick. But now people are saying if you don't get sick, that's bad. I don't really get sick. I ain't stressed out, I'll tell you that. So is my immune system terrible? I don't know, y'all. Sometimes these podcasts, people just get on there and just say some crazy things and it goes viral and ends up on Segovia Reacts.
I'm not going to sugarcoat this. What's going to happen in the United States of America tomorrow in the stock market could be 2008 levels, 1987 levels. I mean, it could be very, very bad. I just did a full breakdown on my Substack, so be sure to subscribe for free at the link in my bio and follow along for all the news you need to know about. There'll be more to come very soon.
One of my thoughts on the moon landing. Well, here's an interesting one about the moon landing. I've said this in other lives before. There's a picture of Stanley Kubrick when he's doing 2001, and he's in England. They called the studios NASA East, which is hilarious. And he's doing his shoot there, and there's a picture of him walking with a group of guys, and they have them all identified, except for one guy behind them. He's in a row behind them walking. And that guy that they didn't identify, that has never been identified, is Louis Jolyon West of MK Ultra. And West was a specialist in mind controlling people, creating cults. There's a large portion of his information that's never made it out into the public that he was working a lot with UFO people and witches and Satanists and all that to create those subcultures. Jolyon West was running one of the free clinics in one of the counterculture areas of San Francisco. Jolyon West was running it at the time clandestinely, and Manson was there getting treatment with the Manson family. And so Jolyon West was involved with that. Jolyon West was involved with Jack Ruby. Jolyon West was involved with Sirhan Sirhan. Jolyon West was involved with Whitley Strieber, the UFO guy. Jolyon West was involved with the Stanford Research remote viewing experiments. Jolyon West was involved with a lot of things, guys. If that's where the moon landing was shot, he was involved with creating the belief system around it.
Yo, TikTok, somebody come watch this video and let me know who this man is and why is he so important in Hollywood.
California. I own the Milky Way restaurant with my dear husband, and I would like to have brachas for all my children and grandchildren and my husband.
Has his name Mark?
Yes, I'm Steven Spielberg's mother also. The film, Steven Spielberg, the famous film director, is my son.
Your son?
Yes.
You have his name also here?
Yes. And it's all here.
Yeah. And I have a good news always. And to go from strength to strength in private affairs and strength to strength about spreading Yiddishkeit in good mood and not success. And have a kosher Trevach and Pesach.
I just came back from Los Angeles. I have a script that I wrote that Hollywood is going to make into a feature film about a Jewish people. I told them that would be nice, but we could not film on the Sabbath, and they seemed to think that wouldn't be a problem. A little bracha, because this is unbelievable.
Yeah, then you had a big bracha, not a little bracha.
Thank you, Rabbi.
And God will not bless you. That's a double portion.
Thank you, sir.
God
bless you.
This is Mr. Ginsberg. He's in the motion picture industry.
Now God will much bless you to be successful and to make the Jewish pictures in a good way.
I will.
Yeah, and God will much bless you.
Thank you.
To be successful.
Right. So, I'm going to ask again, guys, if you know the importance of this man and why he's given so many blessings out to people in Hollywood, can you let me know in the comments, because I'm stumped on this.
Drewski been taking booty. Listen, you ain't look on the internet, you gonna see Drewski got put on by two people. One was P. Diddy, the other is that white boy that just did that deal. He just did that deal with not Nickelodeon, because Nickelodeon they been f***ing kids. The other one, what's that boy name? He give away all that money. Mr. Beats. Mr. Beats. Yeah, and Mr. Beats, you know, he put Kaya on. He hit Kaya in the booty. This Illuminati Secrets game. Yeah, Kaya, you know Kaya. No, not Kaya. Your dude do the live. What's his name? Kai Central. Kai Sinet, what's his name? Yeah, he got hit in the booty too. So what I'm trying to say is, all of them get hit in the booty.
BH, what were you saying about Odell Beckham?
Like, do you guys? It's such a. I mean, if Mr. Beast slid in my email and was like, "Yo, I'm a big fan, bro. Would love to have you, you know, come on a show and just chit chat with you on a podcast. I like your story," and then I go on it and then blow up, like, what do you do with that, y'all? Do you turn them down? Like, no, I don't want. That's a life, you know, that can change everything, right? That can just. Do you get there and then you're like, nah, I'm good because you got to do these things? Or what if you don't? What if you go, he's actually a fan, he just likes your content, whatever, and I can open some doors for you, because any job I've ever got, I got to know somebody, y'all. Every job I've ever had, except YouTube, I had to know somebody to get in the door, to get in that interview, right? I had to have a LabCorp driver got me the job at LabCorp. I was at Sonora Quest, which my cousin's at the time lady got me in over there. She was a phlebotomist. My sister got me in at my first job. My uncle got me in at UPS, right? You have to know somebody. Usually, I'm sure, there's some jobs where you don't. Budweiser, I got into an interview because I had somebody when I worked at Alliance, stocking shelves in Total Wine. I knew somebody in the family that got me in, right? You got to know somebody to get you in. So say you get that email and he wants to, we'll have some dinner, and then we'll get on a podcast, and I want to hear your life story, whatever. Joe Rogan calls, hey, I want to have you on my story. You know what I mean? Like, do you take that opportunity? Because that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Or do you stick with I don't want to say your guns, because who knows if all that's true. I mean, there's tons and tons of stories, so it seems true, but what if? You know what I mean? It's just like, it's a rock and a hard place with that. It's weird. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what you would do? Because to get a job, you got to know somebody. Someone got you in that door. You didn't sell your soul to get in there, right? You just waited. You got that introduction. It's weird, y'all. I don't know. I have no idea what I would do.
There is actually a higher power,
just being real with y'all,
occasionally interacts with human beings. And if a miracle did take place and you were there, you don't have a camera, you don't have a cell phone, you don't have a pen, you can't write things down, maybe you can't even read, and you have this thing that happens to you, and this thing changes the course of human history. It changes untold billions of human beings from that point on.
Yeah.
Pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
That in itself, even if this is just a revelation without a divine interaction, that's a fucking miracle. Like, the whole idea that Christianity, when you're saying that the book of, was it the book of Isaiah?
Yeah.
They get the exact words right 1,000 years later. Pretty bananas.
This Jewish itinerant guy who's walking around first century Roman occupied Judea. He's making some pretty audacious claims to be God himself. And then he predicts his own death and resurrection. And then his disciples they think it's over. Like, they're like, he's dead, we're done.
Yeah.
And then they go from 11, scared men in an upper room to completely overhauling the Roman world in only a couple hundred years. As a historian, I do think it is a historical question. You have a guy who objectively lived, he objectively died, and then individuals close to his inner circle claim that they see him not dead.
Right.
Again.
It's very difficult for anybody who thinks of themselves as an intelligent person who's secular to even entertain the possibility that someone died and come back to life.
And I get that, but we've already talked about the fact that we don't think that the only thing that exists is matter and motion. We as in you and I, right? Like, we believe that there's something else going on in this world that's a little bit crazy.
There's something else.
Number 10, cake. Cake is the 10th most healthiest thing on the
sugar and
unhealthiest
carbs. I'm
thing on the
guessing. I
planet.
haven't heard this list. Just like the top 3.
Ice cream at number 9.
No.
Okay, all right.
Donuts at number 8.
Wow.
Donuts.
God.
So far, a lot of sugar.
Right, I noticed that. Number 7, no sugar, microwave popcorn.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
bad for you.
Turns
Better
into sugar.
to hot air pop your own.
Oh. Whoa.
Number 6 is cookies.
Okay.
That's sugar. Number 5, fast food burgers. 4 is French fries. 3 is processed meats like bacon and hot dogs. No. Number 2 is white bread.
What? Oh my God.
And the number 1 thing, the unhealthiest thing
Red
on the
meat.
planet
What?
Earth, potato chips.
I was going to say red meat.
Folks, this is alarming to say the least. Their plan has been exposed, and I don't even think they're really trying to cover it up or hide it anymore. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. My name is Kevin. Please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, help increase the reach so that more folks can gain access to this important information and, most importantly, the truth. Folks, links in the description if you want opportunities on building wealth, starting side hustles, building passive income streams, and protecting your assets through diversified portfolio techniques that I myself use every single day. Now, I want to share with you this recent update about Walmart closures in Albuquerque that will have, according to these headlines, huge impacts to lower income residents. And this Walmart is actually not far from the Walmart that my family and I happened to visit during our summer full-time van life road trip, where we spent about 2 months living in our van full-time as we traveled the western half of the United States. But in a stop at a Walmart in Albuquerque, New Mexico, we were in the middle of gunfire. It was apparently, according to the locals shopping, one of the customers that were actually in the parking lot that I spoke to that was right next to it happening, he says, no, this is pretty normal. This happens almost every day. Like he's in a war zone, and it didn't even faze him in the slightest. But this warning about how this Walmart closure, the second one that I received in the last 24 hours, with another in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, is aimed particularly at a specific demographic. A Walmart that serves a lifeline for parts of Southeast Albuquerque will be closing its doors next month, and the announcement was made yesterday on Wednesday. And the Walmart on San Mateo near Central, situated near some of Albuquerque's lower income neighborhoods, announced it will be a part of a company-wide closure happening across the country. Company-wide closures happening across the country, folks. Pay attention.
I was saying that in yesterday's video. It's going to happen where probably in my son's lifetime, he ain't going to really know what a Walmart is. They're going to be, all the brick and mortars are going to be gone. It's going to be 100% online. Spark drivers probably going to be gone once that contract's up, because I see the Walmart vans already out there when I'm at Walmart, and they're going to have employees that they go shop for you in the warehouse and then they come deliver, like Amazon, right? They're going to have pickers out there that do the shop. They got it now. I mean, going to Walmart, how many shoppers are in there? There's starting to be more Walmart employee shopping than there is actual customers, right? It's starting to balance out. So eventually they're going to get rid of the customer. They're just going to have the workers go and shop, and they're going to have the drivers that do deliveries all day. It's coming, y'all. It's coming.
There's these inconsistencies. Do you remember where this was taken?
Yeah, it's Griffith Observatory.
I swear, I remember taking this photograph, but we were in Seattle.
How would you feel if you could no longer trust your own memories?
You remember the children's book when you were growing up about the family of bears?
The Berenstain Bears.
Berenstain, S-T-E-I-N.
They've been hard to reach lately.
I just started noticing some things. And
Like what kind of things?
We're living in parallel universes.
Can you picture the Monopoly Man?
Yeah.
What's on his face?
Monocle.
Apparently, it's never been the case.
Going down a deep, dark rabbit hole.
The Mandela
It's freaking me out.
Either we're sliding between parallel realities, or like a simulation, and it's glitching out.
Do you hear yourself right now?
Maybe it's in my head, Claire, but what if it's not? Maybe none of this is real.
What's Bernie up to here? In a post about Israel, he's refusing to say the word Israel. He writes that the Netanyahu government has killed 50,000 people in Gaza and wounded another 100,000. He wrote that a couple weeks ago. They broke a ceasefire and they are killing and maiming. He says that the U.S. must end its complicity and that tomorrow he's going to force votes to block $8.8 billion in arms sales to Netanyahu. I was just looking at my map here, and it does not appear that there is a state called Netanyahu, which of course we all know that there isn't. So what is going on here? Well, what's going on here is that Bernie Sanders is actually taking orders directly from Chuck Schumer, who is the head of the Democrat Party. This passage is detailing how Chuck Schumer is working really hard right now to make sure that liberals continue to support Israel. So he's rolling out this new strategy to, quote, oppose Netanyahu while still championing Israel. And that, my friends, is what one would call a hoodwink. So while Bernie has been on this fight oligarchy tour, very popular, drawing massive crowds. The reality is what he is and what he isn't allowed to say is still 100% controlled by the Democratic Party.
We always fucking crazy, right? Every time we speak on this, they try to say we're lying, we're crazy, and we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We all know what this is. We know. So in Florida, they're banning this, but they're calling it geoengineering and weather modification. What about all the other stuff? They didn't want to say that. The governor came out and said that they're trying to ban this. And he said they're trying to stop it. Ron DeSantis even goes in to say they're trying to block out the sun. He said that's what it's used for. And he said, not in the good state of Florida. That will be no longer the case. But what about people that get sick from this shit? Y'all, take a look at what he said.
Senator Ileana Garcia has legislation in the Florida Senate to ban geoengineering and weather modification in the state of Florida. I support the legislation. However, the Florida House of Representatives has gutted Senator Garcia's legislation, and they would actually codify the practice of geoengineering and weather modification. People got a lot of kooky ideas that they can get in and put things in the atmosphere to block the sun and save us from climate change.
The crazy thing is, people been saying this for 20 plus years, and people try to say they were crazy for how they thought. It's always people that don't believe certain shit can go on, that when they find out, they be like, really? How didn't I know that? That's because you didn't want to know that.
Other example, labels will pay you to keep your what is it called, your
clout or social media followers,
your social appearance to the public. Like, yo, look, she
at one point Ice was lit.
Yeah,
like, yo, she was getting more likes than like Nicki Minaj on the gram. She was like, I ain't gonna lie to you, if we're going by numbers alone, I'm like, yo,
I just use that as an example because we part of the same label. So like, I know how my label works. When they want to keep you there, they invest all this money, whether it's buying or doing all they have to do. You know what I mean? You test your fame going outside. Like, go outside. Like, see if people actually fuck with you. Go, you know what I mean? Go sell out a show. Go do this. Go do an arena. You know what I mean? I mean, that's more or less like real shit. Like, ticket sales, doing that. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
like,
I know what you mean.
So remember how we used to get on Russ?
Yeah. Yo, that nigga Russ was right, though.
Niggas used to get on Russ. It was cool to not jack Russ, but Russ was selling out in a nigga face.
Dr. Pepper.
It's constant. Oh, what is it? Institutionalized. This one made me laugh. I'm gonna break that damn thing.
Today we're finding out why Walmart doesn't accept Apple Pay. It's because they're prehistoric and stupid. Just kidding. There's actually a way scarier reason to it. It all started in 2011 when companies like Walmart, Target, and Best Buy all got mad at the companies they had to pay 2% credit card fees to. So instead of just paying fees like they're supposed to, they got so mad that they started their own company to process payments. The problem with the Walmart payment processor was that it took all of your data and used it to give you more relatable advertisements. It got exposed the next year that they were stealing data, so they shut the company completely down. All the other companies that were involved started accepting Apple Pay since it was the next best solution, but not Walmart. But why? Walmart basically asked Apple to give them all of their customer data, and Apple said no. So Walmart built Walmart Pay for contactless payments. It still steals all of your data today. So if you want to keep your data safe, don't tap to pay at Walmart and follow Danny to learn what school doesn't teach you.
The largest grouping of papyri literature in the world is the Oxyrhynchus collection, which we get a good portion of our oldest manuscripts of the New Testament from. But if you go to Oxford and you look at the Oxyrhynchus collection, and you pull out that drawer, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, and you're like,
right?
Like, most of it is untranslated, untranscribed, because the amount of man hours that it would just take to even put it together, never mind then go to the effort of transcribing and translating it. And most people are not willing to do that.
And if you're missing chunks, how do you even make that puzzle connect?
Well, that's part of my area of speciality and research is in regards to that. So I study paratextual features, We're really gonna get nerdy today.
Let's get nerdy.
Where so you look at the features of the manuscripts, not necessarily the words, but things like the spaces between the words, the development of punctuation, indentation or outdentation, and I look at the margins and I try to, based on the average size of manuscripts in and around that time, and also the average spacing of words and the margins on top, bottom, and the side, recreate what the manuscript could have possibly looked like.
Whoa.
Yeah.
If you are able-bodied, healthy, physically able, there is no excuse to be poor in America at all. I'm 26. I started my own business about 8 months ago, and in that time, I bought a van. I have 2 vehicles now. I bought all my tools. I have no debt in the business. I've scaled it to $10,000 profit a month. If I can do it, you can too.
And what's crazy is if you go read all his comments, a lot of them are going to be, yeah, but you're working all day, you're outside, you have no insurance, you have all, like, you know what I mean? But that's it, y'all. There's a lot of ways you can go to the thrift shops. You know how I learned, like I had a couple, I said yesterday, if you guys, want to get into this, email me, right? We had a couple out of the 23,000 people that watched yesterday's video. I had 2 people reach out. 2 people. Shouts out to you guys. You know what I mean? You're in the right direction. And they were asking questions, and how I learned everything. YouTube video. There's a YouTube video for your microphone. There's a YouTube video on how to use OBS. There's a YouTube video on how to use a Stream Deck. There's a YouTube video, anything you can think of on good lighting. That's a big key, y'all. Lighting. My other videos, I had a background, they would never do good. I found out now it's probably the lighting. Lighting is a big key. But yeah, there's a lot of ways out there to make money, and it doesn't got to be your full-time thing. You just want to bring in extra $3, $4, $5, $1,000 a month. Big believer in reselling at thrift shops, yard sales. Easy $1,000 profit a month, y'all. Easy, like that, quick.
Roman Empire collapsed, but what if it never ended? Rome didn't fall; it morphed. It became the Holy Roman Empire, then the Vatican, then the global financial system. Its laws, architecture, and control structures shaped the Western world. Even the word capital comes from Capitoline Hill. We still use Roman calendars, Roman law, and Roman ideas of power. This isn't ancient history. It's a living system. Rome didn't fall. It went corporate.
So you're telling me I could wake up tomorrow morning and the stock market could be in the worst shape that it's been in decades in my lifetime, and I'm just supposed to go to my corporate girly job? I'm just supposed to wake up knowing that America is in shambles and we're living in pure hell, and I just gotta wake up and go do my 9 to 5? This is why all millennials are in therapy, because this has been our life since September 11th. I have vivid memories of watching people jump out of buildings during 9/11, and then the teachers just click the TV off and they're like, but don't forget you have a math test tomorrow. That was the beginning of it. That was the beginning of it, and it's never stopped. It's never fucking stopped.
Hey, you're a very personable guy. I can tell, just talking to you right now.
All a choice, y'all.
Thank you, bro. And you're no matter what
Check
you
this
do,
out.
even if God forbid this doesn't work out, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be a good dude.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
Alright, so let's say we are gonna watch one of your videos tonight. What would it be? Give me one.
What you say, bro?
Yeah. What's your favorite one?
Right, maybe. A little more to the right. See the TV at least.
Yeah, this is our tailgate, so we're more to the right so I can see the fucking TV.
Oh shit! Hey bro, you don't gotta talk to him like that, bro. He didn't.
I'm just saying, maybe. Hey, could you just move, please?
No, hey, bro, it's okay. Just move.
He doesn't mean like.
It's okay, move, but
I don't mean to be a
but I know, but you have to talk to him like that. No, I'm saying this my guy though, bro. Like, no, bro. No, bro. You cursed at him and stuff, bro. All you had to say was, hey, bro, can you please move? It's just respect, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, no. He don't mean it like that.
Is he drunk?
I don't know, but maybe. I just don't like disrespect, bro. He can talk to me like that. Don't talk to him like that. He's just doing his job.
Hey, we're good. Hey,
let's just respect each other, bro. For sure.
I'm not trying to be a fucking dick. No, yeah.
You cussed at him, bro.
Bro, he's fucking way the TV is my tailgate. I can see
you didn't have to cuss at him, though, bro. He's not a child, bro.
Whoa, what's the problem?
No, he just,
hey, back up. What's the problem?
No, he just cussed at my bro, and I was like,
he said y'all get up. He asked you to get up. Hey, what's the problem?
Is he drunk? Because if he's drunk, then it's okay.
What's the problem?
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
No, nobody was arguing with him or nothing. He just cursed at him like he was a child, and I was like, hey, bro, you don't disrespect everybody, you know? No, I'm just explaining to you what happened.
Okay.
For sure.
Appreciate it. Good. Have a good day.
For sure.
Don't walk up to him.
I'm not walking towards him. I'm walking that way.
Vanga she was a blind Bulgarian mystic who predicted things like 9/11, Princess Diana's death, submarine disasters, the 2004 tsunami, Barack Obama becoming president. She even predicted the date of her own funeral. And before she died, she basically laid out a whole bunch of predictions she had for the future. And guess what she said about 2025? She said 2025 would bring a war in Europe. Check. Shattering earthquakes. Check. Economic disaster. Check. And the beginning of humanity's downfall. Woohoo! Yes! And now here we are in 2025. We have earthquakes leveling cities. Our global market is currently doing backflips. The air quality is cooked. We're literally breathing in microplastics. AI has become self-aware. And we're letting billionaires use our tax dollars to build rockets that blow up mid-air, while the rest of us are fighting over fucking egg prices. And let's not forget the environmental collapse. We're on track for the hottest year recorded in history. Again! Hurricanes are happening in places they should not be happening in. Wildfires are popping up. Whole coastlines are shaking. And the worst part about all of this is just the beginning of Baba Vanga's prediction. These are the inciting incidents. Baba Vanga basically said that 2025 is going to be a rough fucking year because it's going to be the start of our downfall. So if you're feeling overwhelmed this year, just know you're not imagining it. We're just living through the prophecy of a blind woman who got flung into a tornado when she was younger and when she woke up had psychic abilities. Hope that helps you sleep at night.
Bro, guys, I literally caught a leprechaun.
Sorry.
Did you guys... Bro, it's literally in there.
This had like 3 million views. 3 million, y'all.
Tupac cover up. And everybody that check that shit out, go to Vlad. Vlad, you've been hiding these people. You've been supporting these people that has gotten away with killing Pac and Big. Suge Knight said you solve one, you'll solve both. And the person that's in both of those equations is Reggie. He knows he's helping Caden, he's helping Reggie, he's helping them niggas with them lies about Pac and Big's case. He know he's helping them because there are people, FBI agents, other detectives and FBI agents who are pointing the blame on Reggie and Caden that he won't even have them on their show. Ask him why he never had Phil Carson on his show.
This is huge. Utah has just become the first state ever to ban the use of fluoride in public water. And a few other states, including Florida and Ohio, are also now considering the same. You see, the argument essentially is that while fluoride has been successfully reducing cavities and improving oral health since it was added to the public water system in 1945, today there are now concerns that some pregnant women and children may be exposed to excessive amounts of fluoride from additional sources like water-added food, drinks, tea, toothpaste, floss, mouthwash, etc. And it's that additional or excessive amount of fluoride that is the concern. In fact, a meta-analysis of 74 studies done in countries around the world found a statistically significant association between higher fluoride exposure and a lower children's IQ scores, showing that the more fluoride a child is exposed to, the more likely that that child's IQ will be lower than if they weren't exposed to it at all. And this is in addition to the NTP report published last year, which marked the first time ever that a federal agency came to the same conclusion. The study, however, didn't find any evidence that fluoride exposure had adverse effects on adult cognition. Utah lawmakers argued that putting fluoride in the water was too expensive and it had limited benefits on dental health compared to the risks associated. The Utah governor likened it to being medicated by the government. So the question is, what do you think? Should more states stop adding fluoride to the water, or are people just being too overly concerned?
Tell me why the sky and the sun have been glitching, you see that, all over the place, and no one has an answer to why. So we're going to look at a few of them. This is the one that you just saw, though, and basically he was recording while he was watching the sky. So it glitched in real life, and then he went back and saw it in the footage. And I can attest to the sun being off because I've been sitting in my driveway when it was 80 degrees, and it was so hot I had to move. Unrelated, just for attention, but the sun has been really hot. And I know I'm not the only one, so let me know below if you've noticed that. This is our next video. That ray you saw, that's not the sun. The sun is on this side to his left. So what's on the right causing these rays to go up?
It's over here. Look at these. What the f is that?
Yeah, I could go without that music is playing. Now right here, when have you ever seen this? These clouds completely perfectly straight down the middle.
That's crazy.
Obviously, these people have not seen anything like it as they're on top of the freaking car to record it. But there's actually one frequency that can cause clouds to do this, but I'm not going to tell you right here. Really weird stuff going on lately. One thing, this sun is not acting normal. Or should I say, suns up.
I don't know if this is happening to anyone else, but ever since these tariffs have been imposed and all the stuff keeps popping up about how the prices are going to go up, every time I see one of those videos, I'm like, oh my God, should I go buy this? I just saw one this morning for sneakers. I'm like, oh my God, should I go buy a new pair of sneakers? Because I need a new pair. But like, should I go buy it before they're more expensive? Because I've kind of been putting it off. Or like a new iPhone, they're about to like be in the over $2,000. Should I go get a new phone before they're that expensive? And then I'm like, I need to chill. I think they're just trying to get me to spend money.
This is the entire video of this real mermaid, but this happened like in 2008 in Monterey Bay, California.
Con este video me empezaron a seguir. Este es el video completo. Esto pasó en 2008, no es reciente, fue en Monterey Bay, California.
United States may have the largest
crazy. Look at
stones ever cut by human beings, or they could be natural. You decide. This one is in Montana. It's called the Falling Rock or Falling Block, depending on where you read it. Perfect geometry is questionable, and the Yangshan quarry in China is proof that we have actually tried to take rocks this big out of the earth. The top is really well planed as well, and it's close to a perfect two-square shape used in the ancient world. The Sage Wall is in Montana. It's on private property, that's why it's not really that public. I've heard excavations may be planned for this site, which makes it even more interesting. San Felice is an ancient Italian wall that looks shockingly similar. An even closer example would be the megalithic walls in Peru. Stones are about the same size, but Sage Wall looks significantly older. Ancient Greece has possibly the closest resemblance to this wall. It's called the Sphinx Wall. Actually the birthplace of democracy. This next one may actually have had a purpose. This is the Keweenaw, probably butchering that, wall. It's in Michigan. It actually goes across a valley, meaning it could have possibly been a dam. The blocks are fitted together perfectly in megalithic style. This one's also on private property, and half of it is gone, likely from a flood or other catastrophic event. Let me remind you, this is the same state that has the underwater Stonehenge. Buckle up for this one. This one is in Monument Valley. It's called Mully Point East. Top of the cliff somehow breaks off in blocks very similar to that first rock I showed you. These things are all in excess of 600 tons, not small at all. Why would we need blocks that big? Ask the ancients from Lebanon. They used them to build the temple of Jupiter in Baalbek. Those are bigger than those. All of the Crow or the Osirian in Egypt both have blocks this big. The weird thing is, sandstone is a sedimentary rock. It doesn't break up in blocks like that. You can vote if this is just geology or ancient builders in the description. Let's see where the world's at on this.
All right, family. There you have today's video. feeling good today, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. If you made it this far, you know what to do. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, second channel's down below. We did a reaction yesterday, a TikTok reaction over there. Make sure you guys go over there, show some love, y'all. Let's get that channel growing over there. We're gonna do about 4 uploads over there, but I gotta get going, y'all. We're an hour and 18 in. I gotta do some wash the cars, wash my grill, because we're gonna cook some chicken today. My grill got filthy while I was out there in Arizona. We had a bad dust storm, so I gotta clean that, clean a couple cars. That's the plan right now, y'all. Hope everyone out there has a good day. We'll be doing a big giveaway over here, y'all. Big giveaway. I'm feeling so thankful, y'all. Thank you guys. Thanks to each and every one of you guys that watch these videos and have been showing so much love. I appreciate everybody. The channel started turning around this last month, so I appreciate all the love and all the support you guys have been showing. We'll be doing a giveaway. Probably be doing giving away 3 either Amazon gift cards or Walmart. Whoever wins, you guys can choose. You want some Amazon stuff or maybe some groceries to help you through these hard times. We're gonna do something like that. We'll be doing 3 of them. We'll be doing that towards the end of the month, so make sure you guys follow. Some stipulations are going to be put in place, but I will reveal those in a later date. But anyways, y'all, I'm out of here, y'all. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the man cave. I'm gonna see you guys on the next one tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. Later.